You can use them as little decorations. You can use them to beat your enemies to death if you're creative enough. Hey guys, we're back for another shift at the Aryamart, and last we left off, we have completely finished doing the floors in this place, and I gotta say, it looks so much better than it did with the plain light brown old wooden floors. I like the pattern a lot more. I think it offsets against the solid color of the walls pretty nicely. And the next big thing I'd say, aside from getting another thing of licenses and expanding the store a little bit more, is gonna be getting rid of these original shelves and fridge just so we can get more like these where they match the color of our other shelves. Just so that way it looks more uniform, you know? But before we start on all of that, gotta go ahead and get our music turned on so we got some tunes in there. Alright, that should be starting up in a second. Pretty sure I did my payments last time. Yep, okay. Now while we're here, quick peek at the licenses just to check where we're at on it. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure the next round of stuff is gonna need us to have... It's basically gonna need us to start getting a freezer. So, we need to budget for at least 1,100 to get that. And a freezer... Okay. Freezer's gonna be at least another 400. Maybe go ahead and... Honestly, I would probably just go ahead and spring for the big one if I could. So that'd be like 550. And then plus we also gotta account for actually buying the stuff, so... Let's make the stretch goal for that about 2,000. And then probably also... expansion... Oh, jeez, it's 2,600. I forgot about that. Okay, so 2,600 for that, which honestly I might just go ahead and after I'm finished with my current loan, got about 10 payments left on that, so maybe that'll be the next thing I take a loan out for. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and just double check, because I went ahead and placed the order for all that stuff to stock it last time, but I don't remember. Okay, I did. Alright, I did go ahead and do my supply run to the janitor shop, so we should be good. Oh wait, did I get more Windex? Oh, okay, apparently I got some. I've got 23 in total. I could probably run and grab another box just to be safe. Got plenty left for these guys, and got a good amount of bleach. Alright, so I'll go run and grab that real quick while he's working on the big stuff. Just so that way we don't run out in the middle of the day. And honestly, this is still so much more convenient and so much cheaper too than having to order it from the tablet. Ah, in the corner there. Gimme, thank you. And I do still remember that I said I wanted our big stretch goal to be the getting of the truck. Or at least the sedan, just because when I can get into the habit of buying this stuff directly from the shops, instead of having to go and use the tablet with their ridiculous markups, I'm going to be so much better off in the long run. Not really a good place to put this. Everything's just kind of scattered at this point, so I'll just leave it there. Alright. I'll help him with the produce. Which hopefully we should be good on today. Do I have a thing for mushrooms already? I did say before that I like the produce because they make it very easy to tell which boxes are produce. But it does not look like I had any back here, so whoop, come on, up, there. I'll toss that there for now. Grab the carrots. Oh, that's full. Kind of seems like we run out of carrots a lot, though, so that's why I went ahead and got us some more. Just so we don't have... Because I think last time we had the issue of we ran out of carrots in the middle of the day, and people were getting upset about it. Alright, so that should be all the produce. Go ahead and do the candy. Oh, darn, my mouse kind of went off track for a second there, my bad. Alright, let's see. Up top. Yep. You work on that, buddy. I'll help you get everything put away before we start. I think I saw this one up by the top somewhere. Yes. Go. Go. So one thing... Oh, wait. There was a spot for carrots. Whoops. There. Just so we're not using up shelf space if we don't need to. Though at least I turned on the ability to manage the tags himself. Which I don't know why you wouldn't have that as a default setting. It just seems like that would make sense to me, you know? No, you're the cakes. Where the heck do you go? Nope, you're sugar, tuna fish. Ah, down there. See, buddy, you're much more efficient at this than I am. You are a blessing to this company. Alright, honey is good. Honey, honey, honey. Let's see. Also doesn't help that these pictures are so tiny. It almost feels like I need to have jumbo signs on everything so I can tell where the heck I'm supposed to be putting it. Well, I don't see a spot, so I'm just going to toss it there. He'll probably fix it later if he needs to. Yep, these are both full. Flour, flour, flour. I'm also just kind of assuming this is kind of just standard bargain grade flour, like the kind you'll get when you go to the grocery store. You see, oh, there's the fancy Pillsbury flour, but you could also spend a little bit less and get the grocery store branded flour, or their off-brand stuff that you know is still technically a store brand, but they give it a different name so that way you don't feel like you're buying a store brand. And honestly, depending on what you're making, sometimes those can be just as good. There's some things where I will say it is more important to get something that's a good quality. But honestly, flour a lot of times for me isn't one of them. Like, sure, if one of the big brands has a decent enough sale on it that I feel like it's worth it to get the nicer one, like it's only half a dollar off or something, then sure, I'll swing that. But most of the time, if it's something like flour where the main thing you're experiencing and tasting isn't going to be that thing, then I don't really notice much of a difference. Most of the time when I'm making, the flour is not the thing people are paying attention to. And honestly, if it is, then you did not do something right in your cooking process. Where's the small eggs? Small eggs. The things that I feel like can have more of an effect will be things like your sugar, your eggs, your butter, but again, down there. It depends on what exactly it is you're making. For instance, your eggs will the quality of your eggs will absolutely matter more if you're doing a custard, because then that is 90% of what you're using, and you can tell a subtle difference in terms of, I'd say, the texture, in terms of the flavor, and just in general, if you can get some good quality eggs, like some farmer's market eggs, or I'm lucky enough that some of my cousins do have a farm around here, so it actually isn't too hard to get good eggs if I really wanted to. So that's not too terrible, and honestly, the eggs can be worth it to splurge and get the good ones. Sugar, I would say, can also make a difference sometimes. I'm trying to tell if I would clean the windows. Yeah, go ahead and do it anyway. There. But yeah, sugar can also make a difference, again, depending on what you're making. If the sugar is just another ingredient, like say you're making a cake, the flour and the sugar are going to be part of the foundation of the cake, but they're not going to be the main thing people are tasting in it. Versus, say, you're making icing. If you're making icing, frosting, whatever, then that's going to be where the sugar is going to be pretty much the bulk of your ingredient. That is going to be where you will taste the difference in the sugar that you get. Same thing with the butter. The butter, you can absolutely tell the difference in it when you're doing something like a buttercream, especially a good buttercream. Oh, I already got an order. And some trash. Fun. Love starting off my day taking trash out. But yeah, it just always depends on what you're making and finding a good balance. Dang, I'm glad I got more of that cheese. Okay. Everybody still got bags, everybody paying. I don't gotta beat anybody this morning. Finn King. No, that's not too far away. And I have another one that comes in right afterwards. Alright, double check. Everybody's still paying for everything. I don't gotta hurt anybody before I leave. Okay, cool. I've seen you people in your suits before. Don't you dare cross me. I will make you regret it. Alright, let's see. I think it's just around the corner up here, so at least it's not a super far trip. Just cut through the gas station. And, okay, yeah, right here. Oh, hey, buddy, good to see you. Tell your twin brother I said hi. I like that there's little touches around the town, too, like there's a basketball court there. It makes it feel more real, more lived in, you know? What is going on here? Oh, is it just saying that there's people here? Yeah, I could kind of gather that by the fact that there were people. Okay, everybody's still got bags. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, let's see what we got. Bread, bread, bread. Where did I move the bread to? Why is my brain blanking all of a sudden? There. Peanut butter. Gotta be able to make those sandwiches. And honestly, there is no shame if you are low on funds. Just buying a nice loaf of bread and some jars of peanut butter. Cool, you guys are all still paying. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for not stealing from me and making me commit violence. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and do this run. Because I've definitely done that before when I still wanted something to eat, but I didn't have a lot of money. And honestly, a good jar of peanut butter can, you know, assuming you're not allergic to peanuts. But if you are, there's definitely alternatives there. But yeah, a good jar of peanut butter can definitely help you last through some struggle bills. Also, really convenient recipe. Oh no, this is the part where I get lost, isn't it? Yep, it is. There. Okay. But yeah, a good struggle meal that I like that honestly doesn't feel like a struggle meal is just making homemade peanut sauce noodles. Because all you really need is some peanut butter, some soy sauce, sesame oil if you have it, which honestly, hold up. I'm trying to give cooking advice and you're stealing from my shop! People, I swear. Nobody else? Huh? Anyway. Sorry about that. But yeah, good shortcut. A good easy meal. You take some peanut butter, mix it with soy sauce, ginger, garlic, and Honestly, these are all things that are relatively cheap, that you buy them in advance, and they will last a long time. If you don't use ginger that often, get like the little squeeze bottles of pre-minced ginger. And those things will last so long. Everybody's still paying for everything. Cool, I don't gotta hurt anybody else. Thank you for being polite today. Alright, so let's see. This goes to Lacey. What, are we out of something? Why are you looking around like that? We're running out of produce again. Yeah, let me give you a couple boosts, buddy. There. Alright, just making sure nobody's stealing nothing today. Please. I don't want to end my night with violence, but I will. Nice moonwalking, bud. Good moves. Alright, and here. I'll give you a couple more boosts. There. Just so you can get everything caught up. Alright. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked while trying to talk about these peanut noodles, but yeah, like I said, peanut butter, soy sauce, sesame oil, garlic, ginger, whatever other seasonings you want. And honestly, if you don't want to keep the fresher stuff on hand for the garlic and ginger, the powders are fine too. The real ones they just add a little bit more flavor and a little bit more body to the sauce. If you have a little tiny food processor, if you don't, I recommend it. They are so convenient. But food processor, blender, whatever you got, blitz the sauce a couple of times until everything is mixed together and smooth. And then you just take whatever. Yeah, I know, we ran out of carrots. Everybody here is still paying for stuff. Cool. But yeah, you just oops, wrong one. Too many. I'm just distracted at this point now. But yeah. Oh. Cool, last 2 coffees. Dang, we were really getting busy today. And then the cakes. Okay. Everybody's still behaving. Everybody's still being decent people and not having to make me beat anybody at the end of the night. Cool. But yeah, blitz the sauce, and then cook whatever noodles you have on hand. If you don't have anything, and you want to get something cheap, get like a pack of those, like instant ramen noodles, the kind that, oops, did I make a wrong turn? The kind that come in a big 6-pack that are like less than $2. Or, again, I've said it before, but wait until the pasta goes on sale at the store and just get a couple of decent ones for super cheap. There you go, have a good evening. Oops. And then just, you can also add in whatever vegetables you want to. It's pretty flexible. But just cook your pasta, add in whatever veggies you want. If you want a good cheap one, get some frozen peas. They'll stay in the freezer forever, and then they work really well with just about anything. I'm gonna go ahead and start on my cleaning. And once all your stuff is cooked, just toss it together with the sauce. Any trash back here, guys? Cool. Yeah, just mix it together, and you can add meat if you want to, but you really don't need to, just because the peanut sauce has a good amount of protein on its own. And then I typically like to top it with extra peanuts. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of complaints today about people not finding stuff because we just ran out so much. But still decent profit for the day. Let our guy get the last one done here, and then we'll end it. But yeah, then you can add leftover meat if you want to. You really don't have to if you don't want to, or if you want to be vegan, or, again, trying to keep it cheap. Oh, something was found expensive? Did I not change one of the prices? I need to check that. Tea and soda. Oh, I could raise that to $6.50. Was it one of these, maybe? That's $6. That's $2.50. That's still not bad. $3. $4.50. No, everything is still pretty much within market price ranges. I'm gonna be questioning that now. It's gonna make me paranoid. $2.50. And $2.28. $2.50 is fine. You're still fine. Okay, I mean, honestly, everything still looks okay. $2.50. You're fine. Just probably have to go and check all of... Oh, I could actually raise that if I wanted at this point. I wonder, what if I actually... What if I raise it? Helps if I actually remember the number. And then... yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I could just do that. Then candy. That's still fine. But yeah, it's a pretty easy recipe, and I recommend topping it with peanuts and sesame seeds. Though I've also done it before with cilantro when I had some fresh, and that's been a good combination too. But yeah, it's just nice little struggle meals, I guess you could say. Yeah, you're fine. I already checked all of you. Let's see. I'll see. I wonder if maybe we could do like a small discount on these guys. What's something that's worthwhile? Yeah, they're a little bit small discount on the lemons. You're fine. Yeah, I probably have to wait so you get put out to check you. If you guys ever want more like good, tasty, filling budget recipes, feel free to let me know. I love to cook, I love to bake, and being able to talk about this stuff is a lot of fun for me. You're still fine. Wow, we really got cleaned out yesterday. Still just wondering what that one person said was expensive, because I usually keep my stuff fairly close to market price. And if anything, I'm still technically below market price on a good majority of these. It was probably you, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the tea. Oh well, must have missed that the other day. Let me check that side. Okay. The rest of this I think is still gonna be fine. Just mostly being paranoid at this point. Also, if you guys ever want... See, we're right at market price, so let's just do like a tiny discount on this guy. Yeah, there we go, 5% off that. Yep, you're fine. And you're okay. Yeah, if you ever want, like, something that's really easy to make for baking that will still really, really impress people, I could raise you up a little. One thing that I'd recommend is learning how to make meringues. Which basically meringue is whipped egg whites. Nah, you're fine the way you are. Okay, so I got a couple of sales up. I think everything else here is kind of hugging the line for it. I don't want to go too crazy on anything that I'm not really going to turn a profit on. Also, you're not too bad. I could probably do a tiny sale on you. And I'd still make a good amount of money off of that. Okay, the rest of that should be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and get our grocery list together for the day. And did I? Okay, yeah, I got through all the orders. You're good. But yeah, learn how to make meringues, and it's something that's very simple, but always seems super impressive to people who don't know how to make them. Because basically, at its simplest form, meringues are whipped egg whites, sugar, vanilla for flavor. You're still fine. And you can use some more of you. And that's really about it. You can add in things like food coloring or other flavors if you want to, but it's not really necessary. Because meringues have a good flavor all on their own. I'll just go to the janitor store for you guys. We definitely need more kiwis. And go ahead and get another one of you. Extra lemons won't hurt. 2 boxes of you. But yeah, meringues are... Honestly, once you get used to them, they're more technique than they are the ingredients. I've still got a lot of garlic. And I've still got some leftover carrots. Cool. Go ahead and just bulk up on water. We've been getting a lot of that. Yeah, it's honestly, it just takes a long time to whisk it. But once you get the hang of it, it's a very, very easy recipe. It's really just more time consuming than anything because you have to have a decent hand mixer or standing mixer. One more for later. And then you just have to basically mix the egg whites until they get what's called soft peaks. And after they reach that stage, you gradually start adding in the sugar. You have to be careful not to add too much at once. I've actually still got a good amount of tea. Just one should be fine. You don't want to add too much sugar at once, because if you do, then you'll deflate the eggs. So my general technique for it is I use a measuring cup with a handle like one of the glass Pyrex ones. Or I'll have it in honestly, if it's a small batch, I've used a coffee mug for it before. Yeah, so I have plenty of you. Let's get 3 of you to be safe. Just so I don't run out. And basically what I do is, between each round of mixing, I'll go ahead and I'll just kind of shake my hand while dragging well, not dragging, but moving the thing of sugar over it. And that sprinkles it across the top. And then I'll just keep going like that. Just gonna go ahead and buy these guys in bulk because I keep running out of these. Okay. Yeah, let's go get one more thing of eggs. Yogurt is still fine. And just oh. I actually reached a box limit for once. There. 1 extra. He's gonna be working on that for a while. Sorry, buddy. Love and appreciate you greatly. I'll work on getting an idea of what I need for these guys. So I need lots of toilet paper. One box of these. 1 more for you. 1 for you. Probably at least 1 for you. And I should probably go ahead and buy like 3 or at least 3 of you. Okay, I've got an idea now. I'll be back. But, sorry, I keep getting distracted while I'm trying to talk about recipes and cooking and all that. But, yeah, so once you basically keep going in that pattern of steadily adding the sugar, do a couple rounds with the mixer to make sure everything is evenly mixed in. Okay, you're fine after that. And then, yeah, don't think this one had a place. But yeah, and then after you reach the point of having mixed in all of the sugar, you keep going for a while longer. And I say a while because the timing varies greatly depending on what you're making. In some cases, you may need to only go for a few minutes. Sometimes you might need to go to 10. You usually don't want to go past 10 because you don't want to overmix it. Depends on how big of a batch you're making for the meringues. But either way, no matter what you're making, afterwards, after you've got it mixed, it should look kind of shiny almost. It should look glossy. And then you can, if you want the ultimate test, which it's kind of funny, but it actually is used as an official measurement. You'll see people talk about it in cooking and baking shows all the time. You should be able to turn the bowl upside down and feel confident enough in how stiff it is that you don't think it's gonna, like, fall out onto your head. It definitely sounds silly saying it, but it's true. Because once you have them mixed that thoroughly, they are not moving. Like, at all. They are super stiff at that point. If it seems like if you go to tip it over and it's sliding just a little bit, then you need to mix it for a little bit longer. And that's kind of your gauging method there. And also the other way is that if you pull the mixer, like whether you're doing a hand mixer or, I'll get one more of those to be safe. Whether you're doing a hand mixer or an electric mixer, if you take the beater out of the mixture, then the eggs should basically, when you go to lift it up, should almost look like Jimmy Neutron's hair almost. It'll form like that Dairy Queen curl if y'all have ever seen it. And that's how you know that you've got it right. And then after you reach that point, you can go ahead and yeah, I'll get one. I need some of the rest of you guys. Actually, I can probably wait another day on these. I'll probably regret that later, but we'll see. I still need to get a few boxes of these. But then you can mix in your, like, a pinch of salt, because no matter what you're making baking wise, you should add at least a pinch of salt, just because it's going to enhance the flavor and help it taste better. And then you can also go ahead and add your vanilla or whatever other flavors you want to incorporate. Just give it a quick mix until everything is fully integrated. I'll get one more of these just to have a backup. And then afterwards, you just have to bake them, which generally meringues will bake for. They are definitely a low and slow sort of dessert. With meringues, you want to leave them in the oven on about 200, never really more than 250 degrees, and just let them go for a while. And honestly, when I say a while, I mean like an hour on average. Sometimes, I should pay my bills before I forget. Sometimes they might need a little bit longer, sometimes they might need a little bit less, depending on your oven. But, yeah. They're gonna need to be in there for a while. Okay. About a week more worth of payments, and I'll be caught up on that. And then once you put in order to bake them a lot, to adjust the real quick. There you go. But for baking them, it's usually you'll see people will pipe them onto the parchment lined baking sheet. And I definitely recommend that because you will need the parchment. It is crucial to the baking process when it comes to meringues, because you do not want your meringues to, one, you don't want them to burn on the bottom, but two, you also don't want to how to put it, you don't want to ruin their integrity by having them stick. And trust me, they will stick if you're not careful. The way you can tell when they're done is that you basically lightly touch them, and honestly, even if they've been in the oven for an hour, they will be safe to touch as soon as you take them out because you're cooking them that low. They do not get extremely hot. You're basically dehydrating them more than baking them in some cases. But you are still technically cooking them, so that way it's safe to eat for the egg whites. Oh, cool, here we got the kiwis. But yeah, you generally want to lightly touch them. They should not feel sticky. If they feel wet and sticky, then something got messed up in the cooking process. And then you should be able to very delicately, you don't want to squeeze them too hard or you'll break them, but you should be able to gently lift it off of the parchment paper. And yeah, if you can... Okay, everything's good. Sorry, game freaked out for a second. But yeah, if you can delicately lift it off of the parchment paper, then you're good. And like I said, these will always impress people. I've made them more times than... Oh, I thought I had garlic. I keep confusing the garlic and the mushrooms. There. But yeah, they will... I've made this so many times for friends, family, coworkers. It's a very simple dessert. They look very cute. You put them in a piping bag and pipe them out directly onto the parchment paper, and you can use different shaped tips if you want to give them a more interesting shape. A lot of times the star, honestly, the star type ones where you get those little wavy grooves are good. Let's stick you over here. But you don't want to go for anything too narrow, because if you go too narrow, then they're not going to come out right and you're going to disrupt the texture of them. So something that has a wide mouth, but could still add a little bit of detailing. But if you don't want to be that fancy, then honestly, just plain piping bag, or if you don't have piping bags, easiest trick in the world, take like a gallon Ziploc baggie and just put it in there, cut the bottom, seal the top to make sure you don't leak, and then cut off one of the bottom corners. Bam, instant piping bag. I've done it plenty of times. I think anybody who's a home baker has done that more than once. And yeah, you just pipe it directly onto the parchment paper. And you can get creative with them. I've done them as little tiny ones for, honestly, I make these little mini tiny apple pies sometimes to bring into work, especially in fall when apples are just really nice, and apple pie is really good because the apples are all super fresh. But yeah, I've made them really tiny before as a topping for that, or just eat by themselves as like a little tiny snack. Or you can make them a bit bigger and more like the size of a small-ish cookie, I'd say at that point. Okay, I guess we don't have anything in here for this. And then, yeah, you basically can make them however big or small you want them to be. They're very flexible for that. You might just need to adjust your baking time accordingly, depending on what size you want to make them. So if you're making them really tiny, you're going to do about 5 to 10 minutes less. If you're making them bigger, you might want to add an extra 5 to 10 minutes. And honestly, even then, you might not need to, just depending on your oven, because some ovens will get hot and cook them really fast, some of them won't. But even if you go a few minutes over, you're really not going to risk burning them with how low the oven has to be for them. So yeah, once you get used to the technique for the mixing, everything else about them is super easy, super laid back. And because they have to be in the oven so long, it gives you plenty of time to clean up afterwards. Also, if you want to make them really cute, I learned a trick from, actually this one's from Tasty. I saw it being done with some of the meringues that they make on there, and I just love the idea and it works perfectly every time. But if you want to add some flair and some color so that people think even more that you've put a lot of work into them, then go up. Then what you can do is, if you have food coloring, paint the inside of the bag using toothpicks or wooden skewers, or honestly, I've gotten a little lazy occasionally and just dripped it directly into the bag. But yeah, you do that, and then you just do it in streaks. Just make sure you leave enough of a gap between them, otherwise everything's going to run together. And what that does is you add color to the meringue, and it gives it this cool colored swirl effect. So then that way, I know I just threw some back here. Yep, there. But yeah, it adds this cool colored swirl effect without having to risk deflating the meringues. So that's the one thing with the meringues. They are basically egg whites and air that's being held up by sugar. So if you're not careful, they will deflate on you if you don't move quick enough or if you overmix them. Dude, you're leaving boxes? That is not like you, buddy. Did you just finally have enough and needed a union break or something? Which, fair. I understand that. I can knock out the rest of these. Okay. But either that or he's going to tell me that the shelves are too full. Which I can also believe that at this point, because this is a lot more than I've had to order in a long time. I've actually never reached a box limit before. Yeah, that's what it looks like it is. Well, honestly, because I know we're going to run out of this sooner or later. Nope. There. Darn it. I forgot that he does that. And yeah, I definitely went a little bit overboard. Well, I'm gonna assume this is full too. Yep, it is. Okay, well, I guess I can go ahead and get one more rack. Honestly, we're getting to the point where we need it anyway, clearly. Let's see, another tall rack. Go ahead and get you. There. But yeah, like I said, that's just one of my go-to easy recipes for when you want to look like you put a lot of work and effort into a dessert, but you really didn't, and then also it doesn't really cost a lot to make it, because it does use egg whites, and egg whites, I know eggs in general have gotten more expensive, but honestly, the amount of egg whites you need is For the batches I make, on average, I only need 2/3 of a cup. And that's about... I buy, like, the large to jumbo-sized eggs, so maybe 3 or 4 eggs worth of egg whites. Yeah, I'm still good on orders. And yeah, you do that. Sugar is relatively inexpensive. Salt and vanilla extract, again, are things that you should probably just have on standby anyway, and they'll last for a super long time. So you can get whatever you can get these things, you can keep them around. Honestly, there's a lot of people who just have eggs sitting in their fridge anyway. And then you have a relatively inexpensive dessert that people will see and will be marveled at. Be like, oh my gosh, these are so good. Oh, how did you do this? And they're super flexible. Like I said, you can use them as a topping for things. You can use them as little decorations. You can use them to beat your enemies to death if you're creative enough. Every time. We are barely even open an hour. Just go ahead and get that. And yeah, that's just one of my go-tos that I like to use. And like I said, it's very flexible. You could also, one thing I found that's really nice sometimes... Oh wow, the twins are back. Nice to see you too. Oh, and you too. I saw your brother the other night. But, sorry, I keep losing track of the conversation. But, yeah, you can... Honestly, one thing I like to do sometimes is take some jam or preserves or something and put that in the middle. Dang, so he just keeps ordering this constantly. There. For John. Oh, super close. Good. Everybody still paying for anything? Do I gotta beat anybody out of here before I leave? Cool. Love to see it. I don't trust you just because you got a suit on. Okay. But yeah, take like 2 meringues, put some jam, jelly, fruit preserves, whatever you got in your fridge in the middle. And then, especially during the summer, it's very nice because meringues are super, super light. They really don't fill you up much. And if you add just a little bit of fruit filling in the middle, then it becomes a very refreshing, especially during the summertime, really refreshing dessert. Go ahead and toss this. And again, just something that people... Oh, why is the trash can still... Okay, I was gonna say, why is the trash can still highlighted? Oh, people are moonwalking again. Yeah, points are style, I guess. But again, if you guys have any, like, if you ever want to hear any more random recipes or things that are easy to make or rather relatively cheap to make, then just let me know. I like talking about this stuff. This is the sort of thing that I really enjoy: cooking, gaming, all that. And anytime I can combine the things that I like, it makes it... Wow, dang. Moonwalking in high heels, you get it, girl. Woo! But yeah, it just makes me happy when I can combine my passions like that, you know? Okay, nothing else there. Dang, everybody's breaking it down today. Alright, let me go ahead and grab some kiwis. Oh, what are you... Ma'am? Did you clip through the wall? What? Interesting. Okay. Never seen that one happen before. That was different. Okay. And I got another order that came in. Kiwis were there. Alright, let's see. Whoop. Rice, flour, and And, of course, what's a day without having to beat somebody's head in? I was having a good time, too. Why do they always gotta do that to me? Right when oops, keep selecting the wrong thing. Right when I'm just feeling relaxed, calm. I've been having a good time. I've been talking about cooking and food and recipes, and someone's gotta come in and just cause some trouble, make me hurt them. Oh boy, these guys are like right by each other. Everybody's still buying things. I don't gotta beat anybody else before I go do this delivery run. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, everybody be chill or you're gonna regret it when I get back. Alright, let's go. Can't have nothing in this town, can you? Can't even have a fond little rant about food and cooking and things you're passionate about without somebody coming in and killing the vibe by trying to shoplift. Again, small store. What are you trying to shoplift from me for? Go to the big stores with the people who are called security guards, but really they can't do anything except ask you to leave. Because realistically, that's the downfall of many stores today, especially in America, is that you really can't do anything to stop a shoplifter these days. Cool, y'all got bags, nice. And the thieves know that these days. They know that they can go to any store in the country, just about, and take whatever they want. And you really legally can't touch them, which is annoying as all heck. Because if somebody's stealing like that, they deserve to get their butt beat. But too many people try to play the system and pull the whole, I wasn't stealing, you're just accusing me of it. When you literally have them on camera stuffing things in their pockets or into a bag, looking suspicious as all heck. Y'all are behaving, right? I don't gotta hurt anybody for stealing candy or nothing. Cool. Love to see that at the end of the night. Alright, let's go do this run. I think this one was on the same route that I was on before. But yeah, it's annoying to see it. Like I said, I don't care as much when it's a really big chain store, because they make enough money, even with the theft, that they can budget for this sort of thing. I talked before about how a lot of stores have what's called a shrink or a stock budget. And it's basically just how much they can get away with losing in a month while still being in the green. And smaller stores don't have that luxury. There's plenty of them that really will just be barely scraping by, especially during the first couple of months, because that is the most dangerous time for a lot of small businesses that are just starting up, is the first few months where they are just opening, just getting themselves established within the community. And one or two bad days can just absolutely tank a business like that. And it can be hard to recover. Chain stores, they've at least got corporate support. They've got money coming in from other channels to support them during those first little bits of time. Whereas little solo-owned mom and pop shops do not have that safety net most times. Alright, let our guy do one more thing and then we'll call it a day. Come on, buddy, we got this. You closed out strong today. You were able to keep up better, so glad we got a head start on all that. Because, yeah, we are getting cleaned out so much more lately, my gosh. Alright, get that put up. Okay. And cool, nothing that was missing today. Alright, water went down in price. Still not too bad. Alright. There. Alright, I think I'll go ahead, get my bills knocked out, get our shopping list ready for the next batch. Get our bills paid. Get you paid. I've got another 2,800 to go there. But I'll go ahead and get all of this started. Yeah, let's go ahead and get 2 more of you. One more for you. You're gonna be fine. You'll be fine. You're still pretty good, I think. Well, yeah. You can handle another day, I believe. Watch me just instantly regret that, though. You're fine. I'll go ahead and get some more. Let's see, what is it? If it's 16. I'll leave you for now. You're fine. You will get another one. These guys I'll get from the shop down the street later. The tricky thing is that the produce in general, it goes so quickly. I'll have one thing of kiwis on reserve. Still got a pretty good amount of tomatoes, though. Still got mushrooms. Still got apples. I'll get some garlic, though. And carrots, just because with how big these are, it's deceptive how quick you'll run out of them. But yeah, I'll wait on the rest of that. Oh, I've still got a lot of water left. I'm good there. What is that? Give it 20. Get one more of you to be safe. Another one of you. Bread. One more. How's it? Yeah, one more salt. So honestly, salt's not that expensive, and you get a decent amount of it, so it can be worth it. You can wait. You can wait. I can fit 16. Yeah, you can wait a little bit. 48. Yeah, you're fine for now. Go ahead and get 2 of you. Got another 8 in the back. I'll get some backups. You're fine for another day. You're fine for another day. I'm kind of just basing it on the idea of if we ran out here, how much would we be able to restock, you know? God, that sugar is expensive. You're good. We actually don't sell too much honey, so we should be fine there. Get 2 more of you for backups. You have still got lots of. Need 2 more of you. I just got a bunch of you the other day. Same for you, so you'll be fine. I got 40 eggs. Yeah, I don't think I'm running out anytime soon for that. Same thing with the yogurt. I'm good, even if I need to refill that one again. Alright, so let's go ahead, place our order, and yeah. Didn't get too much done today, but we are at least slowly building up our budget again, because honestly, after yesterday, we took such a big hit with that grocery bill. And honestly, I've kind of just enjoyed rambling and talking to you guys. It's relaxing for me, you know? I think that's why I keep coming back to this game so much compared to a lot of the others, is this one's nice when I just want something I can relax to, turn my brain off for a little bit, go about the motions, and just ramble about whatever comes to mind. If you guys want me to kind of steer the conversations towards anything one way or another, please let me know in the comments. I do love it when I see those because they really make my day. And it gives me an idea of if I need to work on or improve anything because I am still relatively new to the whole YouTube VTuber thing. But I'll save more of that discussion for next time. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye! Aw, game over already? Don't worry, there's always more fun to be had later. If you enjoyed your stay, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for visiting Arya's Arcade. Bye-bye!